What's good, everybody? It's Joe, and I come back at you on a video. So with this video, I want to deliver a powerful message to everyone out there. And the message is this: turn your goddamn TV off. It's hurting you more than you think. Now, I have a few notes written down for the different checklist items that I want to talk about because I want to make sure that this video covers everything that comes to mind to explain to you how dangerous it can actually be to have a TV. And I'm not talking about like actual physical danger. What I am saying is how the purpose of a TV is essentially meant to control you. Right now, televisions have been around in households, at least here in the US, and I'm sure other parts of the world, for like many decades, right? Everyone at this point has a TV. However, most people are not aware of the functions of a TV and how detrimental it can actually be to your mind and to your growth as a person, to the trajectory of where it is that you want to go and where it is that you want to take it in life, right? First and foremost, the first reason why a TV is detrimental, right, that it does more harm and it hurts you more than you can think, is that television serves as a distraction. Now, for many people, they may come home from a long day of school or work, whatever it is, and I've seen it with my own eyes, right, with people, right, family members, etc., that they'll come home and immediately the first thing that they'll do is turn on the news. And the problem with that is that from this person's perspective, they believe that it's important to watch the news because you need to remain informed, right? That's the excuse. You need to remain informed as far as what's going on in the world. And if you don't watch the news, then you'll be lost. You won't know what's going on. But what you need to realize is that the news, they'll only show you the stories that they want to show you, which are usually the events or the incidents that are filled with drama, the explosive news, the big negative story, right? The incident that happened, in another country on the other side of the world, or like this big bad event. Majority of the stories on these news channels are bad. They're bad news. They're this event happened to this person, or this bad thing happened to this person, or these two countries are battling. That's done on purpose. It's done on purpose to keep you fearful, right? To keep you afraid, to keep you worried, to keep you nervous about the future of the world, to keep you fearful of your life and your future, because oftentimes it'll be this incident happened to this person in your city, right? Even though you may be living in a city with there's a population of several million people, but this incident happened to this person. And so now you're afraid for yourself to go outside. You're afraid for your family. You're right. It's not helping you. But most people can't see that, right? Most people will still come home and mindlessly put on the news and watch the news, and they'll just be a zombie, right? Because they're just so afraid of everything that's happening in the world, and it'll skew their perspective thinking that everyone is a bad person and this is a scary world to live in. But that is because you're feeding your mind with all these negative events, with all these negative things that are happening. And the news outlets, they deliver that on purpose because the drama-filled news, the bad event, the explosive story, that's what sells. Drama sells, right? And so it's done on purpose, but it's done to keep you fearful. It is perpetrating a victim mindset to have you be afraid of the external world, the environment, everything that's happening. It's meant to build fear in you. And so you will always feel like a victim to the world around you, not understanding that you actually have true power in your life, that you can create your life, but you're not thinking about that because you're distracted by the news, right? Now, I understand that television can serve as a form of entertainment, but what you guys need to remember is it's very common practice for a lot of people once they arrive home to sit back, relax, and watch TV for the rest of the night. But if you're spending all the time watching TV because you want it to distract you from your current reality and your current life, that's probably many hours throughout the day that you're spending time watching rather than doing, rather than like it's distracting you from building, right? If you're spending all these hours watching TV, then that means those are hours going out of the door and out of the window that you could be spending growing, improving, bettering yourself, right? Rather than spending a lot of time watching TV, you could be going to the gym. Rather than spending a lot of time watching TV, you could go for a walk, or you can read a book, a self-development book, something that is going to help bring out the best version of you. You can be spending that time building a business or building some product or something that you feel you can eventually bring to the marketplace to help change someone's life for the better, right? You can be doing something to grow as a person, to tap into your true self rather than just constantly being distracted, right? And those, for some people who come home and just watch TV for the rest of the day and then go back to work and repeat it, right? That cycle is going to continue. How can you grow as a person or be better or change your situation if you're not focusing on you and yourself and your life, right? It's distracting you from you and what you have going on in your life, right? People care so much about wanting to know what's going on in the world, but they don't know anything that's going on in their world. They're not focused on what's going on in their world. Focus on what's going on in your world and what you have going on in your life, and better that and improve that. That should be the priority before anything, before trying to see what's going on in the rest of the world. Like, who cares about that if your world is falling apart? Focus on yourself. So that's the first part, that television serves as a distraction, and you could be using that time. If your life isn't where it needs to be, you need to be using that time to be building your life towards how you want it to be, rather than to just mindlessly just watch television and be a victim to all these events that are happening on the news, right? The next idea that I kind of touched upon is that television is used for control, right? Everyone in virtually every household has a television. So it's easy for mass media to control the masses, because mass media is the one that controls the topics. They control the things that they want to talk about. They decide what they want to talk about. And then that is what gets projected onto the screen of millions of people, if not billions of people, all across the world, right? And oftentimes it's used to instill fear, right, in the case of the news. But the other thing that I want to highlight is that TV is also used to instill a consumer mindset in people. Now, what I mean by that, consumer mindset is being in the position, or like the mentality, the mindset of always wanting to spend. So you will go to work, right, bringing in income, but you're constantly bombarded with advertisements of companies, they're pushing products in your face, and it could be things that you may not even want, but because you're constantly receiving exposure to it, it's almost like that you'll gravitate towards those products because you end up seeing it so often, right? Like me, for example, it's like I don't eat fast food. Now, of course, I would eat hamburgers and fried chicken. I'm not like, I can eat those things, but I'm talking about like I don't eat like McDonald's and Burger King, like from those chains, because why? Though their food is just filled with so many chemicals, and it's not normal. If we use the case of like McDonald's, right? It's not normal for you to be able to purchase a burger and then leave that burger on the table uncovered. You can just leave it there for weeks, for months, and the burger will look exactly the same as how you purchased it. That's not normal. That means that that's food that's filled with all these chemicals, all these things, these ingredients, these chemicals that shouldn't be in food, and yet it is. And they market themselves and brand themselves as being food, and that, people love it, and like it's tied to your childhood, because they want you to be a lifelong consumer of their product, and they want you to believe that it is actual food that is no different than eating from anywhere else. But to me, I look at that and that's pretty much poison, like, because food is supposed to rot if you just leave it out. Like, that's what's supposed to happen if you leave a burger out, right? Like, but that doesn't happen with their food. And yet most people can see that and know that and still go out of their way and continue eating it. Or like in the case with my example, that I don't eat fast food. If I were to just sit here and watch TV all the time, I'm going to get hit with ads of fast food products. And they always make their food look delicious, right? They always try to make the food to look absolutely amazing and appetizing, so that when you look at it, you're looking at it, right? And you're hungry. You may think to yourself, oh, well, even if you don't eat that anymore, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, well, that McDonald's look good. That Big Mac looks delicious, right? But if you're not watching TV, you're not thinking about that. You're not exposing yourself to that. It's the same with any other advertisement, right? Of course, the goal of the advertisement is to push the brand, push the product to you, and to make it look like the next best thing, the most innovative thing, right? Every year is always commercials about the new iPhone, which pretty much is almost the same as the recent iPhone. They might just slightly improve the specs of the camera and maybe increase the memory just a little bit. But yet you have to get the new iPhone, right? Same with the Super Bowl, right? In the commercials, all these companies are always fighting to get ads on the Super Bowl. And almost every year without fail, you'll see a commercial for Doritos. You'll see a commercial for fast food or junk food. You'll see this, you'll see that. It's done on purpose because these companies understand that the majority of people watch TV, that they're on their TV so they can push their advertisements to the masses, right? And that keeps you at a consumer mindset because the entire time when you work and bring in some money, of course, you're paying bills, you're paying for other expenses, right? Like food, things like that, right? Obviously, you're going to supermarket shopping, all these things, but they're also pushing products for clothing, for electronics, for other household goods, and even luxury products, which is products that you probably don't need, right? But yet you still feel inclined to get it because it is luxury. You have to have it. You can't live without it. It's to maintain a consumer mindset, right? When you step away from that, how can you begin building your finances and building your future if you're always having to spend money or thinking about spending money, that you have to get this new product, that you just seen an ad on fast food, you got to go eat it, you got to go order it, right? Like at some point you have to begin thinking for yourself. Why not, rather than having that consumer mindset, right? And this is why there's so many people out there who live their life saying and believing that everything is expensive because they're working, and oftentimes it's a job. So you're trading your time for money. So in order for you to make money, right, you have to trade your time for it. And then you're going out and spending money on bills, food, all these other products that you probably don't even need. So you're effectively trading your time because you traded your time for money, right? And you spent money on these products. So you traded your time for all these products. And money is basically going in through one stream, which is your job, and going out everywhere else. And there's nothing else ever coming in from any other route, right? Like the only set of income for a lot of people is just their job. And so money's only coming in through one way and out in every direction. And that's what the people who are in charge want, right? They want you to be spending, because if you're spending all the money, right, because if life ain't treating you good, and so you feel like you need to spend money to make yourself feel better, but then by the end of the week you need more money, so then you're going to return to your job and then continue the cycle. That's what they want. They want people to be in the consumer mindset, so they're always having to work, that they're always part of the labor force. You need to also be thinking about setting yourself up for the future. What is it that you can create to provide value to other people, to help other people, that you can potentially be able to package as a product or a service or whatever it is, to also create income for yourself, right? Most people do not have that mindset whatsoever, because it's too deep of them to live as a consumer, to have that consumer mindset. You're being trained effectively to continue spending, to continue buying. When are you going to be creating, right? And selling or packaging your own product? When are you going to create your own asset that you can sell to other people? A service that can help other people, right? Because all these companies, they're creating products, they're selling products, right? and they need buyers, obviously consumers. And yet many of us don't have anything to offer anyone else. So we're always constantly being offered things, right, in the form of advertisement from all these companies. We're being bombarded with offers all the time. So of course that makes us likely to spend, because it's just so many offers are being sent towards us, but we're not offering anything to anyone. You can see how that's problematic. You can see how then it feels as though everything is expensive in this lifetime, because we're not offering anything to anyone, but everyone is always offering things to us. So if we're always just being bombarded with offers, of course, at some point we're going to accept a few that sound good. But then that just means our finances is going out the door. And then we only have one way to bring in finances, which would be showing up to our job and working our job, which we're trading our time for, right? And it's still not a worthy trade, because if you run out of money, you can always get more. If you run out of time, that's it, right? So it's not a fair trade. That's what you need to be thinking. This is why you need to be expanding your mind, reading books, listening to audios, learning from people who have achieved the levels of success that you want to, have at some point in the future, right? Because they can provide you insight and wisdom from being in the position of being at the other side, right? And that will help you see things differently. And so I record this video to give you that insight, to have you thinking. I'm not here to judge anybody, right? Not here to judge anybody. I'm just giving you my thoughts on this topic of television, right? That most people, especially in America, love, right? Love television. But there's more to it that oftentimes people are not aware of, that people may not see or they may not put thought into. And so I'm hoping that this video helps change your mind, helps change your perspective, but at the very minimum, plants that seed for you to be thinking about it differently, right? Reflecting on your life, thinking about it differently. Because if I came across the video, there's no way, if I was an avid TV viewer, there's no way I would be able to just go back and continue like nothing happened, right? I'm hoping that is how you're able to walk away from this video as well, because I want you to be great. I want you to live a life that's free. I want you to live life on your own terms. I want you to be great, and I don't want you to spend all these months and years and decades just being distracted, and then when you're old, looking back and regretting the fact that you didn't live your life to your full potential, right? I want you. Everyone has creative power. Everyone has creative ability, and we can create even the unseen, because that has been done before. That is your true power. That is your gift, right? And you need to be living in that more often. So if it means making sacrifices in certain areas, in this case, right, the television, I want you to do that so that you could begin focusing on your life and seeing the beauty of your life and the world around you, and begin taking steps to creating the life that you know you're deserving of living, and to make the most out of this existence that we have here. So that wraps up the video. If you enjoyed the video, do leave a like and subscribe, as we are on the road to 100 subscribers, guys. This video right here is super powerful. So if you made it to the end, I'm super grateful that you made it this far, and I really, really appreciate it. If you made it this far, comment down TV off, right? In honor of Kendrick Lamar, TV off. And that will let me know that you watched the video to the end. So your support has been greatly appreciated. So thank you so much if you made it this far. Once again, guys, this is Joel, and I'm out. See you guys for the next video.